Hello and welcome to Fruits of the Spirit. This is another part of the Woman of the Bible series. This time I'll be discussing Abigail. Abigail was a woman in the Bible that was viewed in a good light. In this video, we're going to look through the life of Abigail in the Bible and see what lessons we can learn from the story for our own lives. There might be more than you think. In 1 Samuel chapter 25, we read about a rich man named Nabal, who lived in Carmel and had a very wicked spirit. But his wife was quite the opposite, a beautiful woman with a lot of wisdom, according to 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 3. It happened one day that David sent 10 of his men to exchange pleasantries, and, if possible, give him some sheep, so that he could be sustained. But, rather than receiving the warm welcome that David expected, Nabal insulted his servants and pretended to not even know who David was. He said, "Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shears, and give it unto men who I know not whence they be?" Quite audacious, I might say, from a man that received help from these people. Upon hearing the insults, David took 400 of his men to teach that man a lesson he'd never forget. But Abigail comes in to save the day. After a young man informed Abigail about how rashly Nabal had treated David's servants, Abigail began making preparations to meet the charging man. She knew that it was risky, but something told her that this mission was an important one, and that she would come back home safe. Her dialogue in particular is interesting, so I think we'll all enjoy a good look at it. From verse 25, "Let not my lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thine handmaid, saw not the young men of my lord, whom thou didst send." It's evident that she knew that Nabal was not the sharpest tool in the shed, but instead of insulting the man and fleeing, she took the risk in confronting David herself, because she believed in what she was doing and the plan God had for David himself. The apostles did the same thing in Acts chapter 5 verse 29, because they were confident and convinced that God was on their side. Even when the Pharisees had threatened them to not teach the gospel of Christ, they replied, "We ought to obey God rather than men." Continuing with the dialogue, "Now therefore, my lord, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing the Lord hath withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thine own hand, now let thine enemies, and they that seek evil to my lord, be as Nabal. And now this blessing, which thine handmaid hath brought unto my lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my lord. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thine handmaid, for the Lord will certainly make my lord a sure house, because my lord fighteth the battles of the Lord, and evil hath not been found in thee all thy days." Abigail was able to judge that God was with David because of what she had heard about David's successes in battle, particularly against Goliath and his continued survival in the wilderness as he was chased by King Saul. The Shunammite woman had also been able to judge that Elisha was a holy man of God in 2 Kings chapter 4 verses 8 to 10. Because of that, she built a room for him and furnished it. Continuing from verse 30, "And it shall come to pass, when the Lord shall have done to my lord according to all the good that he hath spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel, that this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offence of heart unto my lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my lord hath avenged himself. But when the Lord shall have dealt well with my lord, then remember thine handmaid." David replied by thanking her for taking initiative to prevent him from doing something he would have later regretted. He left without doing any harm to her or her family. Nabal died only 10 days later. After David heard that Nabal was dead, he came back to the dwelling and took Abigail as his wife, which by all means was a great honor and a deserving reward for what Abigail did in 1 Samuel chapter 25, verses 39 to 42. The most important lesson I think we can learn from Abigail is that she had wisdom, and with that, she could rightfully judge that God was on David's side. I think we should too strive to have the same knowledge, but for current events in our time. It would be of great benefit to be able to identify whether the signs of the times are fulfilling or not, because if they are, then it means that Christ has returned and that the kingdom has been set up. Everything has been changing rapidly since the start of the last days, and Christ emphasized that paying spiritual attention is of utmost importance, according to Luke chapter 21, verses 34 to 36. By doing so, we will be wise like Abigail, either as men or as women. And that's the end of this video on Abigail. If you learned something or just enjoyed the video, then please consider subscribing, liking, and clicking the notification bell if you want to see the next of these videos when I post them. Have a good rest of your day, and God bless you.